The tribute stand on the podium to harness sounds. Reaper Leviathan finds a backpack full of camping equipment. Wat Tambor finds a canteen full of water. Poggle the Lesser gathers as much food as he can. Vanu Sovereignty snatches a pair of scythes. Venom grabs a shovel. Predator takes a handful of throwing knives. Yagarath runs away. E.T. runs away. Zork takes a handful of throwing knives. Sentinel breaks Brainiac's nose for a basket of bread. Garyu Ganshoop runs away. Nightmare rips a mace out of Tony Green's hands. Space Boyfriend and Mikitaka fight for a bag. Space Boyfriend gives up and retreats. Knowledge Keeper stays at the cornucopia for resources. Acrid runs away. Xenomorph runs away. Tali, Zora, Carnage, and Tourist work together to gather as many supplies as possible. Axis Prime stabs Kovic while his back is turned. Mikitaka camouflages himself in the bushes. Sentinel defeats a Knowledge Keeper in a fight, but spares his life. Wat Tambor defeats Acrid in a fight, but Kind souls him. Poggle the Lesser, Tony Green, and Tali Zora get into a fight. Tali Zora triumphantly kills them both. Carnage receives bountiful corn from an unknown sponsor. E.T. explores the arena. Brainiac overhears Yagarath and Axis Prime talking in the distance. Garyugen Shoop receives a ham sandwich from an unknown sponsor. Nightmare overhears Xenomorph and Taurus talking in the distance. Zork searches for a water source. Reaper Leviathan explores the arena. Vanu Sovereignty receives $29 and some loose change from an unknown sponsor. Venom questions his sanity. Space Boyfriend makes a wooden spear. Predator makes a swing shot. What is this song?
Sorry, I was reading the wiki.
Reading what? Reading what wiki?
Trying to fucking kill these. Trying to kill the boss.
I see. Zark screams for help. Xenomorph tries to sing himself to sleep. Nightmare, Vanu Sovereignty, Taurus, and Wat Tambor sleep in shifts. Mikitaka, Garyugen, Reaper Leviathan, E.T., and Knowledge Keeper sleep in shifts. Carnage thinks about home. Sentinel destroys Axis Prime's supplies while he's asleep. Space Boyfriend loses sight of where he is. Tali Zora, Venom, Acrid, and Brainiac sleep in shifts. Predator cooks food before putting his fire out. Yagarath receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Venom run away from Acrid. Sentinel, Space Boyfriend, and Xenomorph hunt for their tributes. Garyugen Shoop tries to feed a cake to a cow plant but gets too close and is eaten alive. E.T. rewinds the footage too much and goes back to the womb from which he came. Axis Prime diverts Nightmare's attention. E.T. rewinds the footage too much and goes back to the womb from which he came.
Is that? Why did you say that?
Because I just added a bunch more things, I told you. Added a bunch of, deaths.
Are you funny?
Some of them. Carnage
I heard
defeats...
cow plant.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that was a real thing. I'm like, okay, whatever.
No. Carnage defeats Turst in a fight and spares his life. Tali Zora sets off an explosive, killing Yagarath and Brainiac. Wat Tambor makes a wooden spear. Reaper Leviathan hunts for other tributes. Vanu Sovereignty and Knowledge Keeper split up to search for resources. Zorka drinks Predator's spine. Mikitaka sees smoke rising, but decides
I assume
not to
he's
investigate.
dead.
Yeah. Some of these is kind of hard to tell, but Zork and Axis Prime sleep in shifts. Carnage, Nightmare, and Venom discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Xenomorph receives food. Mikitaka, Space Boyfriend, and Sentinel discuss what might happen in the morning. Vanu Sovereignty and Reaper Leviathan sweep in shifts. Acrid, Wat Tambor, Knowledge Keeper, Tali Zora, and Taurus sweep in shifts. Knowledge Keeper, Axis Prime, Carnage, Mikitaka, and Tali Zora hunt for other tributes. Space Boyfriend sees smoke rising but decides not to investigate. Sentinel receives 17 doubloons from an unknown sponsor. Zork smells like heat and realizes he is on fire. Venom receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Yeah.
Okay.
Vanu Sovereignty.
To be honest, that is the quickest way to kill Zork. I'm pretty sure that
fire?
Is his weakness. Yeah. It's because he's a fungus, and you just destroy the fungus by shooting a Molotov cocktail into the room.
That makes sense. Most aliens also just hate fire.
We know like.
Yep. Venom receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Vanu Sovereignty and Reaper Leviathan split up to search for resources. Taurus questions his sanity. Acrid picks flowers. Nightmare defeats Wat Tambor but spares his life. Xenomorph receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor.
Why is this one upside down?
Wat Tambor is sleeping when an army kamikazes his camp. Xenomorph and Nightmare ran into each other
Is he
beside
dead
the
or
truce.
no?
No, he's not dead.
That would have been a funny death.
Yeah, it doesn't kill him though.
Runs in, throws it into the sky.
Yeah, it destroys his camp. It doesn't kill him. Taurus destroys Venom supplies while he's asleep. Sentinel and Vonu Sovereignty sleep in shifts. Carnage loses sight of where he is. Knowledge Keeper, Acrid, Minkitaka, and Talisaura form a suicide pact, killing themselves. Axis Prime begs for Reaper Leviathan to kill him. He refuses. Space Boyfriend passes out from exhaustion. Sentinel kills
That's equivalent
Xenomorph
of
with his own weapon.
like intelligence-wise, that's the equivalent of you begging like your neighbor's dog in order to fucking kill you.
Yeah, pretty much. He asked the wrong guy. Venom questions his sanity. Nightmare discovers a river. Reaper Leviathan hunts for other tributes. Axis Prime tries to sleep through the entire day. Vonu Sovereignty travels to higher ground. Taurus falls into a pit and dies. Wat Tambor injures himself. Space Boyfriend and Carnage work together for the day. Venom goes to sleep. Carnage tends to Nightmare's wounds. Wat Tambor tends to Sentinel's wounds. Axis Prime loses sight of where he is. Space Boyfriend is unable to start a fire. Reaper Leviathan lets Vonu Sovereignty into his shelter. Cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Axis Prime sobs while gripping a photo of his friends and family. Nightmare, Space Boyfriend, and Vonu Sovereignty decide not to go to the feast. Venom rewinds the footage too much and goes back to the room from which he came. Sentinel decides not to go to the feast. Reaper Leviathan decides not to go to the feast. Wat Tambor bites this onions. Carnage brings lasagna to the function. Space Boyfriend reinvents the wheel.
Did you
Axis
reinvent the wheel and brings lasagna to the function?
Yeah.
Why did you brought lasagna to a fucking potluck?
Yeah. It's good lasagna, to be fair.
Was it?
Yes.
I didn't eat any of it.
I know, no one ate any of it except for me and Declan's mom, and I'm okay with that, because it was good.
Funny ending.
Yep. Axis Prime constructs a shack. Carnage and Nightmare split up to search for resources. Wat Tambor attacks Sentinel, but he manages to escape. Reaper Leviathan dissects Vonu Sovereignty for his credit card information.
Funny enough, they did that to scientists for information.
Awesome. Reaper Leviathan thinks about home. Axis Prime tends to Sentinel's wounds. Carnage looks at the night sky. Space Boyfriend destroys Nightmare supplies while he's asleep. Wat Tambor looks at the night sky. Wat Tambor is doing Space Boyfriend's taxes when all of a sudden Axis Prime comes out of nowhere and kills Wat Tambor. It was an honorable death. Nightmare poisons Carnage drink. He drinks it and dies. Sentinel begs for Reaper Leviathan to kill him. He refuses, keeping Sentinel alive. Who joined the party?
Neat.
Declan, I added more stuff.
Okay.
I added custom,
added
like, deaths and stuff.
Someone brought lasagna to the function.
I added a bunch of goofy nonsense. Space Boyfriend, Axis Prime, Nightmare, and Sentinel sleep in shifts. Reaper Leviathan cries himself to sleep. Sentinel receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Reaper Leviathan makes a wooden spear. Nightmare, Axis Prime, and Space Boyfriend get into a fight. Space Boyfriend triumphantly kills them both. Final 3. Reaper Leviathan accidentally steps in his own campfire and is burned alive. Sentinel stabs Space Boyfriend while his back is turned.
Who wins?
Sentinel from
Warframe.
Warframe, yeah.
The Sentinels.